In this session, we present, as I said, 4 posters, and the first poster is the internationalization of scholarly journals in Brazil, diagnosis of the periodicals portal of the Espírito Santo Federal University, and our first speaker is Lucas Magalhães. He has a degree in graphic design and master's degree in public administration, and his most recent research is technical manual with a proposal to reformulate the graphic design of the journal portal of the University of Espírito Santo. Lucas, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, Anna. This poster that I am presenting right now talks about the internationalization of periodical journals.
I think I cannot see it.
Sorry?
I think I cannot see it.
I'm trying to reach it, sorry.
Okay, so please continue.
Permission to use screen share is missing. Well, I can't. I don't know what's happening anyway. But anyway, I'll present it even without the image, okay? As a background for this study, I must say that Brazil actively participates in the global scientific communication with approximately 131,000 journals registered on the system of evaluation of Brazilian scientific publications, and has the 13th place within the countries that most produce scientific papers with open access worldwide. However, regarding internationalization, Brazil still has a great challenge ahead. For example, among the 32,000 most prestigious periodicals in Scopus, only 378 are Brazilians, which corresponds to a little more than 1% of the total in this database, and 0.3% of the ones recorded in Brazilian scientific databases. This research analyzes the journals published by the Espírito Santo Federal University in relation to 21 parameters based on criteria pre-established by the online Cielo Scientific Electronic Library. This sample is about 55 journals registered in the Ufes periodical portal. In the clipping used for analysis, the journals qualified in 3 extracts, A1, A2, and B1, and they were selected from the QualisCap's ranking platform regarding the 2013-2016 quadriennium. And they were evaluated considering 3 dimensions: the national ranking of their publications, the international ranking of their publications, and the stage of the periodicals on the bias of internationalization. The results indicates that the Ufes journals should not be characterized as international, nor in the process of internationalization. Yet, it is presented a number of recommendations so that each journal may meet the internationalization requirements. And to conclude, the research may work as a guidance for different universities that manage scholarly journal databases and that are searching for the internationalization of the periodicals. Besides, the recommendations hereby highlighted may be translated in a national scientific policy in the perspective to allocate efforts and national measures to the underlying mechanism to the production of these journals. I thank you all.
Thank you so much, Lucas, for this very interesting presentation. We will share your poster shortly. Yes, thank you. Congratulations. And now we have the second poster. And the second poster will be presented by Bruna de Freitas, also from the Espírito Santo Federal University. And the title of this poster is Integrating Digital Repositories of Cultural Objects into the Linked Data Network. Bruna, if you are ready, the floor is yours. I think we have some technical problems. Sorry for that, because we checked everything before the session, but it happens sometime. So maybe just to go ahead, I will ask Caitlin to start her presentation. Caitlin is presenting the poster titled "Expect the Unexpected" on one library's response to crisis and change. And Caitlin Mignon is the head of reference and instruction services and librarian for the arts and humanities at the New York University in Shanghai. So Caitlin, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm going to start sharing my screen in just one moment here. Okay, hopefully everyone is able to view my screen here. So it should be shared actually in the chat to this program. If you don't see it, you can keep accessing this poster if you go to tinyurl.com/capital NYUSH-IATUL 2021. I won't go through the whole poster right now because it is available online. There's a video walkthrough here. It is designed for you to go through this poster in a non-linear way. Actually, this poster was proposed a year ago at the early stages of the pandemic. And NYU Shanghai, being based in China, we were one of the first universities in the world to be affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And at that time, we weren't sure if this was going to be another scenario like with SARS, where it was going to be restricted to the China mainland, or if this would turn into the global pandemic that it turned into. And so this poster is designed to share some of the lessons that we learned, both in leadership, in managing teams, and managing people, in our access services, as well as our reference and instruction. So I will actually start by going into exploring our poster. So I'll make this a full screen. And I'll click on the access services just to show you some of the different ways that our access services team, I think, was really creative and imaginative in connecting our users and our collections. For one thing, in the early stages, we had to all be working from home. Many of our library staff were not based in Shanghai, which is where our campus is, because the pandemic hit over the Chinese New Year holiday. So many people had traveled to their hometowns and their home cities. So we had to find ways of making materials available to users, even when library staff and library users, researchers were all at wide different distances. So we had to come up with solutions for print and electronic support. We had to provide this library access creatively. The first thing that we did was thinking about extending due dates for all library loans, providing e-alternatives, scanning book chapters, and accepting the return of materials through mail. Something that was very creative that our library worked on, and I know other libraries have explored this also, is this idea of controlled digital lending. Now, this is very controversial, this controlled digital lending idea. It is certainly not decided in the world of copyright law, but the theory is that if your library owns a copy of a book, you can take that book out of physical circulation and circulate a scanned copy of that book with your users. So one scan per book. Those scans can only be shared, they cannot be downloaded, they cannot be printed, and access to it would expire within the regular loan period of time. So this controlled digital lending idea was a lifesaver for us when all of our international shipping was shut down, our access to vendors and access to our collections was largely impossible. This was also a really important part of our course reserves process, making textbooks and required course readings available. Another really creative solution that our access services team had was to provide the scans of the first 2 chapters of any physical, that is non-ebook textbooks to the course reserve systems so that students were not hampered by delays or delayed or suspended mail services. This is actually something we're going to continue doing henceforth. We're always going to do this so that students who are in that period of choosing whether they're going to add or drop classes, they can still keep up with the reading during those first 2 weeks if they're still deciding about the class and haven't yet purchased the textbook. So this is a lesson in how we actually were able to use the techniques, the tools, and the outreach strategies, the access services that we developed in response to an unexpected pandemic to actually transform our library services and collections in an ongoing sort of way. Both CDL and these providing the first 2 chapters of scans is a long-term strategy that we have in mind. Now, I know that I'm coming up on my 5 minutes of time, so I'm not going to keep going for too long because, again, you will be able to go through this poster on your own time here on this Notion page. So please feel free to take a look through and ask me any questions that you have. But I think the big takeaway from this really, like I said, unexpected time was that we were able to use some of these lessons, the lessons in access, collections, reference and instruction, and team management as part of our ongoing library services. This is something we're all really passionate about, and if you want to ask us more, our contact information is available on this page. Please feel free to email any of us with your thoughts, your ideas, or your questions that you might have. I am going to stop my screen share now. Did I make it on my time, my 5 minutes?
Yes, thank you, Caitlin. Very interesting presentation. Congratulations. And Bruna, are you ready to start your presentation?
Hey, hello everybody. Yes, I am ready.
Okay, so you can start. All the posters are also available in handouts here on the right of the screen, so you can download that.
Okay. Hello everybody. My name is Bruna. I am 27 years old. I have brown hair, brown eyes, and I'm wearing glasses. I will present today the study entitled Digital Repository Integration of Culture Objects to the Link Open Data Network. This project was developed by Paula, Regina, Ventura, Amorim, Gonçalez, Daniela Lucas da Silva Lemos, and Morgana Andrade. We are part of a group of professionals who are working in the implementation of a thematic repository. They will aggregate the memory of the state of Espírito Santo. The Espírito Santo is a little state in the southeast of Brazil with a lot of Italian and German immigrants. And the collection is formed by a lot of documents, rare books, correspondence, media, such as photographs and pictures. The group chose to start working with pictures because it's an item that brings more interesting in the community and is very challenging to represent a picture. And the interaction of the users with the collection in general is widely reported. And the fifth concern of this group was the descriptive representation of the items. We are especially interested in incorporating the contribution of the users in descriptions. It's very interesting, taking account that large part of collection is not described yet. We believe that the users can give valuable contributions to the describe of the items. On the other hand, the challenge of cultural heritage in digital repositories is to implement efficient methods for organizing and describing the content. This content must be described accurately without ambiguity to the machines and the users. One alternative talked by the group is the use of semantic annotations, since the goal is to integrate the content of the repository into a linked data network. In this context, the linked data principles enable the providers of multimedia content enrich the semantic annotations with well-defined structure specifications through ontologies, for instance, enabling the consumption and the use of high-quality information. Facing this challenge, we conduct a study to explore what has been published on the topic of semantic annotation of cultural heritage objects in the context of digital repositories that could contribute to our project. The purpose of the study was to obtain an overview of the use of annotations as a representation model to integrate cultural heritage objects from digital repositories in the linked open data cloud. Although so, we choose to carry out a systematic analysis. The development of systematic review enables the research by a new knowledge base that is solid and reliable. There are many methodologies and tools proposed to assist the fulfillment of a systematic review, but for this study, we updated the methodology ProNoC. This method was developed by the Laboratory of Multi-Criterion Methodologies in Decision Support of the Federal University of Santa Catarina, and was to propose to assist a performance analysis research. It is based on the constructive perspective and proposes a search for relevant documents to deconstruct a knowledge from a selective fragment of literature. The ProNoC is structured in 4 phases, basic. Recently, the method was updated, which includes one more phase, but there is no study published yet. In addition to the method, we use Zotero to organize the reference and voice viewer to carry out the bibliometric analysis. So, Zotero to organize and voice viewer to carry out the bibliometric analysis. Phase 1, it's in the poster, is a definition of a bibliographic portfolio. In other words, a fragment of literature that represents the knowledge base about the research topic. The search was performed in 3 databases with the combination of the keywords. We will obtain a run article bank with 86 items. Following, we eliminate the duplicates with the Zotero and the relevant articles based on the titles, RAS 31 articles. The next step was to verify the number of citations of these articles using the Scholar Google. According to ProNoC, only those articles that reach 85% of the numbers of citations, 18, are selected. So the next step was reading all the relevant articles summary. It was selected 17. The methodology recommends considering articles with less than 2 years of age, even if without proven relevance. A bank of authors of the selected articles is created that will subsidize the identification of cited work relevant to the study. The identification of these authors is important to recognize all the articles they wrote they haven't approved in the previous steps as relevant. Two articles show it to be important and related to the research. Finally, another test of representativeness is applied for reference of the PP. The bank of authors is used to search for relevant work. After reading the article, there are 14 articles that represent the bibliography portfolio. The second stage, which concerns the bibliometric analysis. This analysis extracts important information such as the most prolific authors and the occurrence of keywords 3 times minimum. Figure 2, this little one.
Bruna, please summarize because you are out of the time.
Oh, sorry. The figure 2 shows the predominance of the articles with scientific recognition. Figure 3 presents the author with most articles, representativeness. And figure 4 shows the keywords using the list. So I will summarize. To summarize, use of semantic annotation to describe the cultural objects of digital repositories improve the sharing and the connection between culture and cultural objects in digital repositories. The result of the study can be used to another articles, but can use it to, in our case, to improve the creation of the semantic will be used in the repository.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruna.
I'm sorry.
For the presentation, and it's a very interesting study, and I encourage everyone to connect with Bruna also to discuss this presentation. And last but not least, we have our fourth presentation, and let me introduce Nuno Portela. Nuno is at the present coordinating the first level support and reference team of the Library of the Faculty of Engineering of University of Porto, our host, and he will present a do-it-yourself solution for improving study conditions in a library. Nuno, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Anna. I will just screen share my presentation. Where is it? Here it is. I hope everyone, the screen is shared. Are you seeing the poster? Yes, I think
yes.
So. Okay. So, hello and good morning to everybody. I hope my video and sound are reaching everyone in the audience. I am Nuno Portela from the Library of the Faculty of Engineering, and I would like to thank you, YATL 2021, for the opportunity to share this poster that me and Cristina Lopes produced on behalf of the reference service team to present you with a do-it-yourself solution for improving library conditions. So let me guide you in a brief overview of the poster we have prepared. Everyone that works in a library is aware that of the most common problem is noise. This gets even more problematic in a technical and engineering academic library due to the practical type of study that these students usually need. We know that there are always noisy students in spaces where there should be silence, especially during the exams period. In the exams period, our library gets crowded and often there are no seats available. So another problem is how can we monitor the library's occupancy, especially this year due to the pandemic situation. So displaying the occupancy online can help staff monitor study spaces and provide students a way to know beforehand if there are available seats to study. So the solutions we present in this poster aim to reduce the noise and monitor the occupancy in the library, be to engage and commit users to this endeavor, and that leads us to see that is to free staff from these tasks of low added value to the service. How? Since we don't have staff with programming skills, we try the do-it-yourself approach. using the tools we had available. In this case, we used Google Suite for Education, which is a free set of tools for education environments and institutions. We have mainly used Google Forms for data submission, taking advantage of the possibility of having pre-filled answers and also adding comments for automatic submission to reduce time and improve simplicity. We use Google Spreadsheets for data storing and calculation, special dynamic tables feature for daily contest calculation, and graphs for data presentation, QR codes for quick and simple access to forms fill-in and auto-submission, customized notification settings to improve real-time efficiency, and Google Sites for integrating and presenting information in the web. It is also very important for the success of these systems that staff commit to respond and ensure that information is trustworthy, and efficient communication to improve users' engagement to use the system by having a nice design of signage and efficient media communication to reach for them. And how do these systems work? So first we have the noise reduction system that we called Noisy Tell Us. So we spread signs with the motto Noisy Tell Us in the tables. These signs have a specific QR code that you can see here in the picture, that have a specific QR code so that when students detect any uncomfortable noise, they can scan the QR code and then fill in a simple form with some details and submit. Then the staff gets notified, gets an instant notification in order to take immediate action, and silence can be restored. Users nicely received this system. In 2018, during the exams period, we received 3 tickets per day. But since some tickets were not trustable, we decided to introduce login requirements. And as a consequence, the average of tickets got reduced by 50%. During the pandemic, since the capacity of the library was 60% less, we received only 1 ticket every other day. Fewer people make generally less noise. The other do-it-yourself system we have implemented is based on check-in, check-out structure. Because of the restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemics, we had to reduce the library capacity and assure that students comply with the distance rules and that we did not have crowded spaces. So we have put stickers in the only available seats with instructions on how and what users had to do to be allowed to use them. This way, each sticker marks an available seat and has a QR code for check-in and a different QR code for check-out. Users can only use these seats and have to scan the respective QR code when arriving and then when exiting. These inputs feed a real-time graph that is public and online, providing information of the rates of the occupancy in the library. This way, staff can know how spaces are being used, and also users can check previously or when arriving if and where there are available seats, in which floor. We have many floors. We can say that in the beginning, this was a very good and independent solution to monitor the occupancy. Our estimates tell us that more than 80% of the users were using it properly. However, with time and some relaxation, users started to miss their part in this system. Even though the data stayed reliable, since we had since the beginning daily and regular staff intervention to update and correct the values. With these 2 systems, we found out that users can help, if well engaged, to build and maintain a good study environment in the library. We concluded also that it might be useful to have login requirements to improve data reliability, but simplicity can be reduced with it. This simple solution solved complex problems and can be easily replicated in other contexts. These systems and the problems that were prior to it have inspired at least 2 different students' research works in the faculty, master dissertations. with video and audio sensors to optimize and automate the results. Well, thank you very much for your attention, and feel free to contact us in the Floor platform or email with comments, doubts, or any remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Nuno. Thank you so much, and thank you for a lot of likes you can see here. Congratulations! Every presentation, each presentation was very interesting, and I encourage you to contact with the authors to discuss the detail, because now I can see that Caitlin is answering the questions in the chat. There is also one question for Nuno, but I think the time for this session is over. So let's go for a lunch or a coffee, and let's meet in 1 hour for the keynote session, when I will be expecting you shortly. So thank you, Lucas, Caitlin, Nuno, Bruna. Thank you for your presentations, and thank you to all the audience anywhere you are. Thank you, and see you later.